Thank you very much. Thank you, folks. Hey. Oh, come on. Oh, thank you. Oh, please, Hey. Oh. Folks, I'll give you about a half hour to cut that out. Get that dog out of here. Anyway, thank you very much for coming and for driving out to Glendale. I like Glendale. Yeah, you know, because it's kind of like a regular American town, but it's close enough to Sleazywood so that it's also a little bit corrupt, which is good. I'm tired of taking all this shit about, you know, preferring L.A. At least out here, we're honest about being phony. We live by a code. You scratch my back, I'll fuck you. You know, there's... Yeah, New York pretends it's more gritty and real. What a bunch of shit. Go out at night, it's the same bunch of phony, baloney, ass-kissing, star-fucking, glitter monkey douchebags. Not that that's bad. I mean, those are my kind of people, quite frankly, but... Or maybe I'm just getting old. I had a terrible thing happen the other day. I was listening to the oldie station, and they played a rap record. That's sad. But the good news is Rogaine is over the counter now. Because I would use anything. I'm at that point where I can't lose one more. If they said rub shit in your head, I would, if there was an infomercial and George Hamilton was looking really good, you know, and I would rub shit on my head. I don't care. I used to love it when, you know, a woman would run her fingers through my hair. Now it's like, get out of there! What are you, crazy woman? What do you think, I'm made of hair? That sticky paw, you could pull a few out. Get away with that thing. Because, you know, you get older and you see certain things sailing out of sight. You know, Major League Baseball, probably not going to happen for me now. I'm too old to ever, like, adopt a cool rock star name like Slash or Sting. You know, it's always The Edge. It's never Flab. You know, that's not going to... Although OJ could have been Stab, I thought. That would have been... You don't find that controversial, do you? I mean, you heard about OJ. What I really hate is Prince, that little asshole. I mean, to call yourself Prince just to begin with, when your real name is Craig or Lester. But then that was for shit. That wasn't good enough. He was too much a genius. He was not like the rest of us carbon-based life forms. He needed his own font. He's a font. He's a font. Which is why I say we should call him Font. You don't want a name, you little prick? I'm giving you a name. And now there's a Mrs. Font. He's one of those guys who got married because he just had everybody. You know? It's either that or go gay. That's, you know, Mick Jagger and David Bowie did that. They had an affair. They didn't want to, but they had all the pussy in England. I mean, there wasn't anyone else. It was, Dave, I don't want to fuck you up the ass, but... If I don't, I'd be repeating myself, and no artist wants that. You know that. You know what makes me feel old? The way people have sex in movies. You know, I mean, they're always so hot when they do it. It's in an elevator or they're up against a fence somewhere. Or they just get inside and clear shit off and go. They just clear shit and go. Do you fuck like this? Do you just get inside and clear and go? And, you know, I'd be like, no, my mother gave me that. You know. I mean, I'm as passionate as the next guy, but that could be worth something. You know, blouses getting ripped open. And you try that on your next date, guys. That'll be a big hit. Just rip open her blouse. Guarantee you'll be in Bloomingdale's the next day. Also, who walks around at that level of preparedness? You know what I mean? I mean, I haven't had a hard-on like that since I was 10. I mean, it's just a... I think the actors, that's how they choose the scripts. It's like, how erection-friendly is my character? Walks in seconds, he's hard as a rock. Yeah, that sounds like me. You know, we give such lip service to safe sex, but in the movies where people really take their cue, there's no, you know, people don't go, let me get one out. I'm just, you know, you got her in the sink. I mean, you shit that thing in her back. You're not gonna like take, you know, if you're fucking in the sink, you don't use a rubber. I'm just saying, they don't go together. God, I remember the days when if a woman found a condom on you, she'd slap you. Now it's deemed rather considerate. Oh, he had protection. I'll have to write him a lovely note. Isn't that sweet? He had, Hallmark has a whole section there. Because you thought of my health, I'm thinking of you. Oh, you're too nice a person to get herpes. Oh, thank you. I'll tell you, Bob Dole's right about one thing. People do see stupid shit in movies and then do stupid shit. You know, there was a movie out a couple of years ago called The Program, where kids in the movie, college kids, lie down in the highway as a prank, and then kids in real life did it and got killed. And I say, good. I mean, I'm sorry. It doesn't bother me. You know, there has to be some mental Darwinism, doesn't there, at some point? People... What about 9.5 Weeks? Remember that movie? When that movie was out, I swear to God, this was in the paper, because, you know, it was with the food. Mickey Rourke and Kim, right? And by the way, if you're using food in sex, you're doing it wrong. Food is for when you can't get laid. It's for after, not during. But when that movie was out, this was in the paper. People were coming into emergency rooms. I got a yam up my ass. Oh, I feel like such an idiot. We saw it. There was no disclaimer. You know, people want a disclaimer. Everything has to have, do not stick this up your ass. Okay, thank you for writing that on there, because I easily could have done that. I am so tired of rearranging my life around what the stupidest people might do. The straw that broke my camel's back was this summer. I think it was Labor Day weekend. Two families went with their kids as a trip, you know, to visit the Susan Smith Lake, to see where that happened. Come on, kids, it's the summer. We're gonna go to the Susan Smith Lake and going over to kids. Yeah, and let's go at night with a lot of beer. And then their car goes in, and 7 more people die, and then people around the area are like, oh, the lake is haunted. We gotta fill in the lake. The lake is fine. The people are morons, okay? That's all. And they are kind of filling it in. But no, I play a lot of colleges. I mean, some of the kids are very bright, some. I talked to one this year, I swear to God, I said to this kid, what year are you in? He said, 1996. No wonder. We're behind. Companies know it. You know, they don't trust the kids with math and science. Look at a cash register at a fast food place. You know, there's just pictures of the food. There's no numbers involved anymore. Just hamburger. That's all the kid has to do is point to the picture, which he learned in Sesame Street. That's the level that they trust the kid to be at. And a 2-week training program at McDonald's. These must be bright kids to... No, you're just pointing at it. See, son, I'm touching it. You see the difference? We'll pick it up again tomorrow. There's so much to absorb here with the paper hats and the splattering batter. I shouldn't talk. I wasn't very good at math or science. Chemistry, valuable to me, though. Chemistry taught me how to do my taxes. No, because I think we all do our taxes the way we did Chem Lab. You get the answer first. And then work your way back up the page. And when you get to your name, you're done. Yes, I was an English major, and I use English in my career, so. I was an artsy in college, which meant you took courses with no relation to reality. Kind of course when you finish a test, the teacher goes, shovels down. Because you're really piling on the bullshit. Oh yeah, I took things like philosophy, which when you get out is about as useful as a bidet in a gorilla cage. People know what a bidet is. That's very impressive. Seriously, I went to Europe. I didn't know what it was. I was like putting fruit in it, and why would you assume? Whoever invented that thing, let me say, Europeans have, to put it charitably, an inconsistent sense of hygiene. Okay, I mean, you know, the men shower about once a month. The women don't shave anywhere, but everybody's asshole is clean and ready to go 24/7. I don't know who invented the bidet, but if that's not in the Gay Hall of Science, I don't know what is. Oh, you've been to the Gay Hall of Science. Fantastic. Take the kids. Forget the Susan Smith play. Go to the Gay Hall of Science. It's great for the kids. They've got the working model of the, you know, butt cutout jeans and the nuclear ball gag. It's a tremendous... Kid the gays. And I kid Europe. It's a great town. What? I went to the Nordic countries. That's an interesting trip. Everybody over there, their names, so guttural. Sven! Olaf! You know, it sounds like the mothers give the name of the child as they're giving birth. Bjornborg! You know, it's... Sometimes it's an easy birth. Uskadoo. You know, it just... It's hard to say. I was in a hotel recently, and I was watching the new James Bond movie on Spankavision. Well, we've all used Spankavision, haven't we? I noticed the hotels either have that and hand lotion in the room, or neither. But... Oh, James Bond. Now, seriously, if you captured James Bond and you're the bad guy, wouldn't you just kill him right away? Aren't you tired of that? That it's like he's almost going to take over the world. It's like 10 minutes to the launch. No, Mr. Bond, I'd rather see you go underwater in a water wheel. I don't want to see you actually die, leave you tied up. What could go wrong? The pellet will hit the water, inducing the mice to knock over the dominoes. I mean, do you think real bad guys do it like this? You think when Colombian drug cartel guys capture a traitor, they're like, Carlos, you piece of shit. When the soccer ball hits the piñata, then... Other Spanish stuff will happen. But movies, cliches like that get in your head. I'll never put a briefcase down. I have seen too many movies where you pick up one that looks just like it, and now you've got the drugs. And of course, the police don't believe you, so you've got to capture the bad guy yourself. Oh. Honey, I got to go down to Colombia this weekend. Action movies, they don't even bother to write words that make sense. Listen to these guys threaten each other. It's like, I understand they're mad, but it's like, I'll hit you so hard you'll have to walk backwards just to puke. Why exactly would... Your ass won't know what day it is. What the... Every time you fart, your mom will think it's Easter. Okay, I see what they're getting at, but Demi Moore makes some interesting movies. Really, some of these are offensive. I mean, women should be offended. Even I'm offended at Disclosure. Hollywood finally makes a movie about sexual harassment, but they have the woman harassing the man. Yeah, that's how it usually happens, I think. The Bob Packwoods are the exception to the rule. It's usually Demi Moore insisting on fucking you, right, guys? Isn't that what makes the workplace a nightmare for us? How many nights? Oh, fuck, if I don't come up with some sort of an erection tomorrow, I am so fired. I am so downsized. Or the one where she went to bed with Robert Redford for $1 million. Where's the downside there? Exactly. You know, make it Danny DeVito. Make it somebody who looks like he'd have to pay for it. Make it Magic Johnson. Put some risk into the situation. Don't fuck with me. I warned you. Yeah, I gave it to Magic. Then I drove him into the Susan Smith Lake, okay? No, I would never make fun of that subject. I had a terrible scare. I'd been stupidly fucking this Haitian monkey and just, you know, thinking with the wrong head. And I'm not saying don't fuck the Haitian monkeys. I'm just saying use some protection. Get to know the animal. None of that clearing and going. Don't just clear and go with a monkey. Not one of those green monkeys. That's another thing about sex scenes in movies. The close-ups. Too close, isn't it? I don't know what I'm looking at half the time. Is that a tit or a thumb there? Is that... Would it be appropriate to get a hard-on now? Would that... Oh my God, that is a guy's ass. Oh fuck. Oh shit. Oh no. I'm joking, ladies and gentlemen. A hard-on is always appropriate. No, that is certainly not true. You know that if you're a Catholic. I was raised Catholic, and come on, that religion is a little anti-dick. Come on. You know, it's from about 7 to 13, you can be a good Catholic. Then there's a big conflict. You know, when puberty, in Catholicism, they have a thing, nocturnal emissions, which means in your sleep. It also is what grounded the space shuttle, by the way. Nocturnal emissions they were having. But no, in your sleep, you can't have an orgasm. That's when I said, I am never going to please these people. I enjoyed their earlier work. I really did, with Jesus and the apostles, but, you know, the Pope, he's a lovely old man. I see him reading badly. He's like Bob Hope, you know, it's just... And he dresses like Elvis. What is that about? He's that same white jumpsuit with the cape. I'm not saying who did it first, but I think it was Elvis. Actually, the Pope has a lot of funny outfits. The Pope dresses like a wealthy homosexual. I don't know why. I'm not saying anything, but I'm just saying Elton John would be very at home in the Pope's closet. That's Oh, I didn't mean that. That was actually dirtier than I intended, okay? I've actually offended myself to imply that Elton John was in the Pope's closet. Although now that I think about it. Anyway. But it was he to tell us about whether we can masturbate, right? You look like you masturbate a lot. Well, you know what I'm saying. See, I thought it would end. When I was a teenager, I remember, that's the way adults talked. I thought, oh, it's the thing you do as a teenager. And then I got to be like 19 and, oh, is this 25, 33. Well, now I'm pretty much resigned to the fact that it's a lifelong hobby. I mean, this is... Even when I'm sick, especially when I'm sick. I'm in bed all day. What else you got to do? Boy, I've been sick a lot lately. No, my father was very understanding when I was a teenager. It's true. When I was about 13, he took me aside and he said, masturbation is a perfectly normal thing for a boy your age, but not at dinner. He put his foot down, and I hated him at the time, and I respect him now. But see, men were made that way, as horny creatures. What I hate is that when we're condemned for what we can't help but being, by, the Catholics and women, mostly those two. Those are the ones who give a shit about, the fact that we have two brains. Tyrannosaurus Rex did too. He's okay, but we're schmucks for it. We can't help it. Like, guys, give me an example, something we can't help. Do you ever, you're comforting a woman, something has happened, you get, a grief on. You can't help it. It's not, you're not trying. And she's pissed, she's like, my mother is dead. I know, but you smell good. What can I tell you? I don't know. You're rubbing against me and you smell good. We're not trying. You don't blame a moth for eating your socks. We can't help the way we are. I think Woody Allen proved that a genius with a hard-on is still a guy with a hard-on, okay? This guy he's dating out of his apartment. He's sitting at home going, ooh, I think I know her. And that's depressing, because I have hope that, it gets better as you get older. I think it does, because I think at a certain age, God kind of turns you into a woman, No, you do. You kind of adopt their policies a little more. It's like, oh, hey, yeah, maybe it would be cool if I didn't try to fuck everything right away. That's interesting choice, that. I could give that a whirl. That's... Because we are truly opposite. When you think about what's in a man's mind versus a woman's mind, it's not encouraging. They meet, they like each other. She's fantasizing, ooh, big church wedding. He's fantasizing, ooh, blowjob in the car. That's... How are those 2 points going to... There's the bridge to the 21st century that you have to... It's all based on you making us work for it. Sex is too easy for women to get and too hard for men. Honestly, for a man to walk into some place and have every woman ready to take him home, he'd have to rule the world. A woman would have to do her hair. Oh, come on. It is. Women are like, let's do this, let's go here. We don't really want to do it, but we know that it's your way of saying, look, if you want the booty, you're going to be doing things my way for a while. Because after I give it up, I have a feeling we're going to be doing things your way for a long time. Mystery. We always hear about that. Oh, the mystery, how wonderful the mystery. We don't like mystery. You like mystery because it's not a mystery to you. You know when you're going to get laid. It's actually a mystery to us. Well, I'm going to give you my nutshell of what happened to the sexes. Because it seems to me like we're so fucked up because about 30 years ago, whenever feminism, women's lib, whenever that hit, whatever that was, that earthquake in the male life that we never quite understood. Because before that, we used to do things for you, unpleasant things like work and pay for everything and be the one to ask you out, shitty jobs. And then this thing came and we got the idea you weren't happy and you wanted equality more, which was okay, but we thought you also then would want equality of the shitty jobs, but you didn't. You wanted both, really. You know, you wanted equal pay, but you didn't really want to pick up the check at dinner on a date, did you? Come on, that paying thing, girl, some things sounded better at the meetings, didn't they? In real life, I don't see, you know, men used to do this for the check. We should just penis, just bring me the check. I have the penis, I'll get the... You know, that's okay, we never asked for it. I know the one that you really hate, though, is the one about who asks who out, because there was a time when, it wasn't even thought of that a woman would ever do this, and now you put that bee in our head and you're mad, because it's a shitty fucking job and you know it. It's a shitty job, because any time you do it, you could face rejection. Every man knows what it's like to go up to a woman and have her look at you like, excuse me, I'm an 8 and you're a 4. Is that not clear to you? And we're like, I know, I thought with the car, maybe a 6 and a 2. But at least we have a system. You know what I don't understand about homosexuals is, how do they know which one is the one who's supposed to pretend they don't want it? It's gotta be shirts and skins at some point, or you don't have a game. So. And I must say, I've always been completely supportive of everything with the homosexual, whatever they want, marriage, laws, whatever. But recently, I had my first rectal exam. I'd never had anything up my ass before, and I have to say now, I think they're a bunch of sick fucks. And I know that's wrong. I disavow it even as I say it. I disavow it, but apparently my support up until now has been completely theoretical. And actually having something up your ass is just terrible, and I don't understand it. I mean, this is a bad exam. They actually put a camera. Luckily, the camera loves me, but that's me. No, please, don't write me and get mad at me. I'm a complete supporter of everything in the musicals and the fashion and the great taste and everything. You know, and that's the problem, with, because we have girlfriends and they go out with their one gay friend, because like chick movies we don't want to see. They spend a whole day with that guy and then they come back and we look like, But you know what really screwed me up sexually, though? The G-spot. Remember the G-spot? Remember when that hit the news? Whatever. What year was that this was discovered, or whatever, Balboa over the vagina? Well, it happened, the G-spot. I know it was a big news story. What year? Does anybody know? 82, not 69, wise guy. Oh. No, I think it was the 80s, wasn't it? Dateline does this, you know? Boy George was on the charts, and the G-spot was on the map, you know? Well, whatever it was, the point is, how do you expect us to understand women when they're still discovering shit in their pussy in 1982? My God, we know more about Mars, apparently. I mean, tomorrow if they said, you have a third ball, I mean, I would be very upset. We never knew about it. It's a lot of those kind of myths about sex. You know what one bugs me? The one, women, they want you to talk to them after sex. Not if you do a good job, I think. I mean, I think you do a good job. They'll go to sleep like anybody else. They're just talking to keep you up so you'll finish the job. They're getting coffee and... So what did you do after college? They don't want to hear what you have to say. They're checking. No, not yet. Christ. Hope we don't have to go through the whole Reagan years with this. Well, Men are focus losers. That's true. We lose focus. That's why women never want us to make love in front of the TV being on. Because it's true. I mean, she will be screaming an orgasm, we'll be yelling out a Jeopardy answer. That's just the Magna Carta. Oh no, I'm sorry, I was completely into it. I meant you are the Magna Carta of lovemaking. You. If lovemaking was a document, it would be the greatest, biggest. When I was in college, I was very poor. I only had one music tape to my name. That's all I had. And every time I'd have sex with somebody, I'd have to play the same music. This is not a good thing. Because, you know, I got to the point where I could sort of gauge where I should be. You know, it's a stairway to heaven. I should be sucking your toes by now. God damn. People don't even know where to mate anymore. You know, they go to coffee places. Ugh. Barnes & Nobles, you've been in there lately? It used to be a bookstore. Then one day you could get coffee, and then you could get a muffin, and now there's like a disco ball there, you know, and chicks are going to the bathroom in pairs. I mean, it's a meat market. It was... Hey, what happened to coffee, by the way, anyway? It used to be like 10 cents, and then it was $3. How could there be that much slack in the market? You know, it's... Although it happened with marijuana, I hear. I read that in Newsweek. Many years ago, please, that was many... I will tell you one story. This is many years ago, but I was once in a hotel room, and I had marijuana, but I didn't have any pipe or papers or any device to smoke it with. Now, I am the most unmechanical person in the world. Suddenly, I'm MacGyver. Suddenly, my shaving kit is a toolbox of unbelievable possibilities. I'm soldering shit that I made a bong out of the lamp, and you know, the whole room became a head shop. Selling incense and tie-dye, and turned a nice profit, quite frankly. I am not advocating drugs for the young people. For the adults, that's who should be doing the drugs. No, come on, kids, high school, forget it. I never did anything in high school. You shouldn't. I mean, you have to know reality before you fuck with it. I'm not kidding, that's true. No. Because even in college, I don't know, we used to, you know, literally turn into idea man. You know, we'd get so high we would invent things that have been around for quite a while. If you could just think of a way to fit something under your foot. It's a shoe! We have that! Shut up! Something to dig at the food, man! Years ago, I had an apartment in West Hollywood, and it got robbed, and the cops came in. They said, yeah, it's kids, they want drug money. So now when I leave the house, I just leave the drugs out. Just cut out the middleman. Better for me, better for you. Leave the VCR. I just learned how to do it. Leave that. Enjoy the drugs. Because when they do the drugs, they forget why they came. Because that's the great thing about natural drugs, is that there's a built-in mechanism that you can't OD because you get too fucked up to prepare the next bit of drugs. You know, it's like, hey, did we already roll that? Is that? He left? That's why rich people OD, because they have someone prepare the next bit of drugs for them, and they screw with nature's system. Kids, roll your own and you'll be okay. That's my public service announcement. Kids, don't have lackeys. Those public service announcements don't work. There's one on the way to the airport, a billboard that, you know, this is your brain scrambled on drugs. I see that, I just want to get real fucked up and go to Denny's. I don't know, I wasn't even thinking about it, and suddenly I want to eat eggs fast. But, anybody in AA? Oh, come on. Stand up, pretend it's Tuesday. No, I'm not knocking that organization. I attended 6 AA meetings. I had to because of a traffic misunderstanding. I know, I know you can't make jokes about that. That's one of the really politically correct things. I saw recently, they put out, I'm not kidding about this, they put out a politically correct Bible because they did not want to have the Jews, an ethnic group, kill Jesus. So now he dies of secondhand smoke. I just think the impact is gone. I think the story was better before. And by the way, that whole thing about the Jews killing Jesus, let it go. It was a long time ago. He was weird, they were scared. It happened, okay? Let it go. Yes. Hey, it turned out he was the Son of God, admittedly a boner, okay? But, he was a very controversial figure at the time. Hindsight is 20/20. You don't know. It's hard to know who the Jews are. I read an obituary recently of Jerry Siegel. He invented Superman. And I never saw Superman as a Jewish guy. But it's true, it said in the original Superman didn't really fight crime. He just used his X-ray vision to build up a dental practice, which I think... And I am not saying all Jews are dentists, ladies and gentlemen. But all dentists are Jews, I believe. There's a very small Gentile dentistry group. It's like the gay Republicans, just a niche, well, there are the log cabin Republicans. That's what they call themselves. They believe Lincoln was gay. They're not kidding. Some of their evidence, I'm sorry. The Gettysburg Address did not end with the phrase, "You go, girl." Come on. You know what people that really want conformity about, that really touches them for some reason? The life and death issues. I don't understand that the most religious people are the ones who seem to want to keep you here the longest. Isn't it where it gets good up there? Isn't this a bunch of shit here? They're always harassing Kevorkian. What's the disease? Why does it have to be disease? Why can't it just be, hey, I'm tired, okay? Life was great, but I'm tired and I'm checking out, and that's my choice. Really spiritual people are not afraid to die, like Indians. When they're ready, they just know it. And they go out on the ice floe, or they go up on the mountain. Where are you going? Just dying, no big deal. I'm just going to die. I'll see you on the other side. Nothing. We go to Miami. There's the perfect place to meet God and prepare. I don't understand that. Because I'm pro-choice, I'm pro-death penalty, I'm pro-Kevorkian. I'll kill anything. I'm for abortion up until the 3rd trimester of high school. I'm saying there's a new sheriff. Poor Kevorkian, he's been in such a zone lately. He's hitting the ball great, and they're always, he's seeing that ball. And, they're just always harassing him, which sends the wrong message, Where are the young suicide doctors going to come from? You don't want to discourage the kids from getting into that business. They need a place to be bad. Well, I made a concession on longevity. I did quit smoking, which doesn't please me because, it's always a vanity motivation, You never even quit because you think you're going to diet. You read an article, constricts the flow of blood to the penis. Oh my God, I can't. Bad for the skin. Shit, I got to quit this. To me, not smoking is like voting Republican. I know it's the smart thing. I just want to be over there with the fun-loving, crack-smoking Democrats. It's a head-heart battle. I heard Senator Phil Gramm ran for president this year, and he said, I was conservative before it was cool. Well, it was never cool, asshole, okay? It's not a cool thing. Yes, sometimes it's necessary. I want a mean old man to watch my money. That's what I want in a Republican. But liberal should never become a bad word. You know, if you look at what it means in the dictionary, it's things you'd want to be, like forward-thinking and progressive and open-minded and curious. You know, curious people are interesting people. Why is that? But the problem is we're $5 trillion in debt. I know that doesn't sound like a lot of money, but it actually is. And I don't like that. It bothers me. We have no fiscal responsibility. How can we? Look at the laws in America, like bankruptcy. What is bankruptcy? How preposterous. You can go through somebody's money, and then when they catch you, you just go, bankrupt! I call! Bankrupt! I said it. I said the magic word. I'm standing on it. I'm bankrupt. Sorry, sue me. Oh, that's right, you can't, because I'm bankrupt, because I said the magic word. You know, we're such babies with money. You know, the whole world pays $5 a gallon for gasoline. This year there was a gas crisis for 28 seconds. And they talked about raising the tax on gas 4 cents a gallon. People were like, 4 cents? We're not gonna starve to death, I can't survive 4 cents! I've done the math. Don't have the extra cheese, you can drive 300 miles. You know, I have to say, I thought the Republicans were very brave when they were trying to cut Medicare and Medicaid, because these things really are going broke and somebody has to stand up. But then, every time I go to the mall, I see so many stores that sell shit that nobody needs. You know, where is this loose money that people... Can't we just tax the people going into Bed Bath & Beyond? Isn't there a way just to, you know, I've seen stores there's a store called the Purple Store. You get everything purple there. You know, this guy can't get an operation, but you have to have every fucking thing in your life purple. That just, if you're in the Christmas store in May, give it away. You have to find a way. And then catalogs come in the mail that are for people who have cleaned out the Purple Store and can't even think of the shit that they don't need. They can't even imagine so much that they need to, soundproof underwear. Hey, that's a good idea. I do fart a lot, yeah. A toaster phone, ooh. Sure, we could always use extra bread or time. Contests, you know, these things that come in the mail that humiliate you because it's for $25 million and who could resist, but then you can't just join. It has to be, place the gold star on the clown's nose. Oh, fuck you, no, I'm not, no. Forget it, I don't care if it's $1 zillion. I'm not putting a gold star on a clown's nose. I have some human dignity. But we don't, we rob it away from ourselves. Also, I get those ones, 12 CDs for a penny. What are we supposed to be thinking? Yeah, they're making money here. They know how to manufacture this stuff. Because you take it, and then you know if you take it, then you have to look through that mountain of literature to find the thing. It's in there somewhere that's going to fuck you in 2 years. Because it's in there, you just need a bloodhound in Colombo to find it. We're such rodents, you know. Everything we buy has to have some sort of bonus. You know, bonus miles and coupons and car wash things and... Every time I buy a CD at my record store, I get 10 points. Oh, get that one, get that one. Get that one, get that one. So I can get a jet ski. What, I mean, come on. There's so much really selfish bullshit. Like I must say, you know, like assault weapons. Now, don't shoot me. I know we love guns in America. Guns and cars. That's why the drive-by shooting is the greatest American thing. I know. I'm not trying to take away guns, but if you think we need assault weapons, that's a little selfish, I think. Because it's the paranoia. Oh, if they take away my assault rifle today, then tomorrow they're going to get my squirrel gun and... Oh, no. This country loves guns. This country has to have a salad shooter, okay? I mean, this is a country that thinks salad is too peaceable. We must find a way to shoot the salad, some way to unpeaceably prepare salad. The liberals, too, have pet causes that, like school prayer, oh, who cares? A minute in the morning, it's the same thing. They say, if you give a minute now, what? In 2 years, we'll be a theocracy, we'll be wearing veils, yalla, 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 hitting women who have their ankles exposed. Well, and the politicians, of course, can never go wrong by, out-toughing the other guy. I'll put the criminals in jail before they commit crimes. That's how tough I am. I'll put kids in jail. They won't grow up. We like our solutions fast and we like them stupid. As long as it has a good slogan. 3 strikes and you're out. Yes, that's like baseball. It must work as government policy. Punch a hole in that logic, I dare you. Yes. 2 balls and you walk. My new gays in the military policy that I think will be very successful. Or those wars that they declare on the drug war. Everyone's for the drug war. That doesn't mean my little stash. Oh, no. You mean the war down there in South? Oh, yes, with the tons of it and the big cartel. Oh, I'm all for that, but me, I'm just, a couple of times a week. That's why I say, we really do have the right president, because he's full of shit and we're full of shit. It is a marriage made in Poland, because this country really fervently, religiously believes in taste great, less filling. Really, win-win. That's what it's got to be, a win-win. No, grow the fuck up. It's not going to be a win-win all the time, but that's what we want. That's our little platform. We want more services and less taxes. That's what with 94, they had this big thing where the Congress came in, balance the budget, balance the budget. A year later, everybody's like, did you know cuts were involved in this balancing the budget? I did. I thought we sold off a few submarines or something. We do that all the time. We change our minds, and then the politicians, because they're so scared of us, they do what we want, and then we say, you're waffling. They're not waffling, we're waffling. They're learning. Clinton's just the best learner. He's the one who, you can't get anything. Wherever we put it, it goes through him or around. I guarantee he was good at dodgeball when he was a kid. We say we don't want a guy who's smooth. We're completely full of shit. We love smooth. That's why Dole couldn't make it. He wasn't smooth. He was so blatant. 15% tax cut. I'm giving you money. I mean, we're bad. We're not that bad. 15% off this election. Come on. Come in the showroom. 15%. How does 20% grab you? He had so much dignity for so many years, and then this job that everybody wants so much, and it was like, please, I'll give you money. Vote for me. Vote for me, please. I'll give you money. I'm not kidding about it. I'll find a way to get the money. You don't know how bad I want it. I was in the war. President Clinton, a response. Well, the debate, especially that second debate with the townspeople, Dole was so overmatched. I felt so bad for him. He's up against like the greatest salesman in the world, Mr. Smooth, who come out and knew how to walk and talk to people. And, Dole was like, behind his roost there, that bad body language, coming out. Yeah, well, your movies stink. He'd say something critical and then go back. He'd go back to it. Whole campaign, he was always criticizing him, and he was right. Your movies stink, your movies are bad, your drugs are immoral, your TV shows are bad. I know, but that's all we have. That's our life, Why don't you just tell me my car's a piece of shit too, okay? As long as you're making friends. kept condemning movies he'd never even seen. Trainspotting, bad film, it's a bad, Hey, I saw Trainspotting. He has no idea how pissed he really is at this movie. Oh, gosh. But it was so unfair, because then Clinton, Mr. Smooth, slick, everybody's name he remembered there, and Sarah, may I call you Sarah? Whatever somebody said they did for a living, good for you, good for you. What do you do, Sarah? I sell shotguns out of my garage. Good for you, good for you, that's terrific. I download porn on the internet. Good for you, good for you. That's terrific, good for you, One of the questions, the guy was an Amway salesman. I was thinking, who's the real Amway salesman here? Oh, man. Everything was a bridge. We're going to build a bridge. The guy sold us a bridge. He sold us a bridge, And he told us he was doing it as he was doing it. You got to give it to him. That's pretty good. But you know what? There's something to that. Because when you have to look at a man as much as we have to look at the president, you want a guy who's happy to be full of shit. Dole never enjoyed it. He's not the type. He's too real. He couldn't get into it. And that's important, When you're the president, you have to be in a good mood, because they're always picking at you and suing you and trying to bring you down. And Dole could get in a mood, he could get off the lawn, he'd be... Have a big signing ceremony in the Rose Garden. No, get him off the lawn. I don't care what it is. Get him off the lawn. Clinton, he's happy, and sometimes he's delirious. Do you ever see him when Helmut Kohl, the chancellor, comes to town? He's like, oh boy, the German guy's here. I can drink beer and eat like a pig at lunch. I kind of like that, Because when you're the president, you have to always be up. You can't have a bad day. You can't get in a mood when you're the president. You can't just do something crazy, what do you think would happen if Clinton came down one day and he had a shaved head? What do you think the stock market would do? Brazil would fall. That's all I'm saying is, General Colin Powell, probably the most respected man in America, if he went away for a couple of months and came back with a big afro, we're not ready to vote for Link in America, okay? I'm sorry, we have not come that far. But people accuse Clinton, they say, oh, he's slick. Slick. You tried this job. You tried dealing with Arafat and the Russians and the unions and Hillary and the militias and... Well, that's another thing, I hear people say things like, well, if he cheats on his wife, how do I know he's not going to cheat on his country? Really, how exactly would that... Yeah, I'm going to be working on the Dutch budget deficit today. I don't know why people want to know so much what's going on with Bill and Hillary. You know what? Who cares? They're married. I don't think they're having red-hot monkey love, but it works for them. I think he loves her in his way. If not, why did he carve their initials in Al Gore? They're a yuppie couple. She likes money for nothing, he likes chicks for free. That's it. And that's why Bob Dole hates it, but I don't blame him, because Dole, he is the real McCoy. He did sacrifice, and he did do all that for his country, and that's why we're kind of afraid of him, because he's an old-fashioned curmudgeon who wants us to put a shine on our shoes, and we don't know if we can live up to his standards. But we know we can live up to Bill Clinton's. Oh, yeah. So I say we hug him because he wants to hug us. I met him a few times, Bill Clinton, and I tell you, every time I met him, he always reminded me of somebody, and I couldn't quite think of who it was. And it finally came to me, Don King. Because I met Don King once for like 10 seconds. I was coming off an award show, he was coming on, and I'd always thought, Don King, the scum of the earth. 10 seconds, he was like, Bill Maher, you fantastic young man. You want to get a medal for what you do? You fantastic young man. I was like, Don King is a great guy. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. You're a terrific crowd. Thank you for coming out.